Good morning, everyone. It's Michael for Frontline Web, and today I'm going to talk about tags, H1 to H6 tags, and how best to implement them. Now, a H1 tag in SEO is the most important tag that your user will see. It's normally the header or the first thing they see in the header, which best describes what they're going to see or what they're going to read on this web page. It's also most important for search engines, as they will read through there and see what your website is about and how they can best serve an answer for a particular search query someone is looking for your services or products for your particular client. They're also excellent for screen readers. A screen reader will read from H1 to H6 for people who are visually impaired. So there's two important points there. Right, I'm going to do I'm doing a website SEO for a electric vehicle home charging company. They install and supply electrical vehicle home chargers. So let's get on. So let's go into the editor. I must say I didn't design this website, thankfully. I think it was built in the ADI because I had to switch it over to the main editor. So I've got rid of a couple of bits anyway. So let's get into it. So I should say I'd go back here, and now this is a tool I use to see errors on the website and see how the tags have been structured, put together. Because normally a lot of my customers, they build their website, they put their text boxes in, and they have no idea in the text editor that you can write it in heading H1 through to H6 or a paragraph. So it's not their fault. So basically I just run through. But this basically gives me some errors, tells me what's going on within their website. I don't really need it, but it's good for you as well. You can see how many H1s, H3s and all that, and just go into it. So I'll put the link to that in the bottom of the video when I finish. Right, back to the editor. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to check, let's see what he's put here. Now, he has a paragraph there. So I've noticed he's got only one H1 on this page, and it's the one down the bottom there, which says subscribe to this form. So if we go back, have a look at his errors, and we can see his only H1 is there, states the most important tag a website could have, subscribe form. So you can see what's saying. That says nothing whatsoever to a search engine. So let's go back to the editor. I hope I ain't going to draw this out too long. I'm very structured when I do my videos. But right, we're going to add some text. I'm going to add a heading H1. I'm going to put it in the header. You don't necessarily have to put it in there, but I'm going to put it in the header anyway, yeah? Let's make that white. Right. Now, another important tool I use is this one. It's called Google Keyword Planner. So it's going to give me ideas about electrical vehicle home chargers. When you go onto the page, just put in one particular keyword like electrical vehicle chargers, etc. And what it'll do, it'll throw out all this monthly search volume for particular keyword or phrases. As you can see here, 100, 101 to 10k there of electrical vehicle home charger installation. So what I try to do is do a little bit of research and incorporate them in phrases and text that make sense. You know, just don't just spam it with loads and loads of keywords with the same word, electrical car chargers, because Google are going to see that straight away that you've implemented that word. Just add the word installation, suppliers, cost, and most importantly, a location. So I'll put a link to that in the bottom. Very good tool, so you can see what the monthly monthly volume is and how many times that's been keyed in or searched for in any particular month. There's lots of different ones out there, tools you can use, but I use this one and it served me well. So back to the editor. I made a start yesterday, and what I've come up with is this one here. So EV electrical vehicle home charger, installers, suppliers, Northampton. Right, clear signal to a search engine. They supply electrical vehicle home chargers. They install them and they supply them, and they're in Northants, which is Northamptonshire. Most people type Northants. It's a big county in the UK. Now, that's not going to bar him getting on national search. I said to him, what you need to start, because it's such a young website, he's got no links coming in, no authority whatsoever. He needs to send a signal out straight away that he's from Northamptonshire. It won't bar him from getting on national search at a later date, but I always start off with small steps. Right, so we'll copy that. We'll go to the Wix editor, and then we will put that in. I'm going to design this a lot better and make it highlight it. I'm doing this very quickly just to show you what I mean. So that is now a H1. That's a clear signal to a search engine. We'll sort it out later. That's it, right. So then we'll go on to the next one. I'm going to move this little bit of text up there that he's got there. So this seems a bit of a wasted text here. He's got it in a paragraph, and we will keep that as a paragraph. Now he's got a bit more descriptive text in here. Now I will change that text again. I won't do it now because obviously it'll take too long. But I don't think it needs the word at EV charger, so we'll get rid of that straight away before I notice it. We're going to put in a lot of the words we put in the header, but we're going to put a lot more descriptive words in there that we saw in the keyword planner. And we're going to put in some locations around Northamptonshire area that he covers, and we'll probably put the word nationwide as well. I'm not pretty sure anyone would type in the word EV charger installers nationwide or England. Most people search near me, don't they? You would agree, or someone local to them, unless they're searching for something really rare and specific. So we're making that H2 now, yeah? Now we've got another bit of text here. I'm going to change that again later day, but let's make that, for example, H3. So you can see where we're coming from now. We've got a H1, a H2, and a H3. So search engine will be coming through. This is what this website's about. More information, more information. Now we've got on to learn my business. Paragraph, keep it at that. Now this is more information. So we'll make that a H4 because the previous one was a H3, yeah? And then we go through. You can't do a lot with these. I haven't looked in the booking form to see if you can make them H1. So they'll probably stay as H3s, which doesn't really matter in the SEO factor of things because they're lower ones. Right, so let's paragraph, good. I think I've done some of these yesterday when I was messing around. So yeah, I think they're all paragraphs now. Let's have a look. So basically, it is a bit laborious sometimes if you're doing it, but if you're starting from a website from scratch for somebody, you'll remember now, I need to write a H1. Only have one H1 on a website. You don't need 2, 3, 4, 5 different headings. What it will do, it won't necessarily confuse the search engines, but what every other H1 you do is going to do, like, should I say, dilute the previous H1 tag. So stick to one a page. Every page that you do will be different. So, you know, when you go into About Us, you can say something different about that. So make them different so all the pages are going to show up in search. Right. And I should also say that 80% of page one searches have a H1 tag in them. That is a fact. You can search that. So subscribe to my form. That's another bit of text. So don't miss any of the bits of these text. So he's got that as a H1, so we're definitely going to make that a paragraph now. As I say, words matter to search engines. And not gone are the days when you was able to spam a website with loads of text. Just structure a website from H1 to H6, and I can guarantee you will start getting results from that. Right, so let's publish the website now. Right, and let's go over and see what we've got now. So you've only got 2 errors now, and we know that error there is through to the description, which we're going to go to in a minute. So now look, we're structured from H1, H2, H3, H4. Now them H3s at the bottom, as we said, are from the booking, so they're not going to matter. So your most important tag is there. It's telling a clear signal what search engines what this website's about, and then you've got more text, more text. Do not put any more H1s in, not needed, and don't care what anyone says. You read the top SEOs, they say only one is the most important one you need before they get diluted. So now I just go back and go into the site, and we go to manage pages. And obviously you can go to your SEO. A lot of people do this in the SEO Whiz. Never touched the SEO Whiz in my life. Waste of time. So he's got on here his UL slug. So I'm going to change that slug straight away. Not very descriptive, is it? And then we're going to put that. Oops, cut that out. Cut that out. And then we'll make that. Oops. And then we obviously put our loans in. Again, clear signal to a search engine, yeah. Home electrical vehicle charging. This is what this page is about. On this page as well, Look at all this text he's got here. Home electric vehicle charging, EV charging pro, EV charger. Repeating words is no good. EV, absolutely nothing in there at all. So the main thing I would probably do there is go back to my notepad and use the H1 tag in there that we used before. I'm sorry if this takes a bit long. I'm not the most organised of people when it comes to making videos, I'm afraid. Just want to get down there. Right, so we're going to top that out. And now we're going to put that in there. So again, that is the H1 tag. This is what's going to be seen, obviously, in your browser window at the top there. So Peter's going to tell people what the website's about. Should be in between 60 and 70 characters before it gets truncated. So make it as descriptive as you possibly can. Obviously put the name. You don't necessarily need to put the name of the company in there because it's wasted words. You can put that in the description. You can either put it in one or all. Don't waste your characters that you'll give them. So on here again, what we're going to do, I'm going to change that later. It's going to be a lot more descriptive, but a lot of it's truncated. So let me have a put on there, making use. I'm going to get rid of a lot of that and see what it gives me if I've gone over the text. EV charging. But I will write that more descriptive. You can do that yourself. You've got up to about 150 characters, yeah? So you can put in the name of his company there, obviously, because we want it somewhere on that, on the browser part. This is what will show up in the actual search results, yeah? So I'm going to make it, I'm just doing it quick now, but I'm going to put a lot of these words in there and about installation and location. So I hope you're following that, yeah? 155 characters, no more before it gets truncated. So descriptive if possible, use the keyword planner to do that. Now every page has got to be every page has got to have a different description and a different different head description and a different meta description, and that's the way you'll get all your other pages showing up in search. If everyone's the same, Google's only going to show one page and it might not be the page that you want to actually show. So that makes sense. So we publish that. So hopefully now when we go and have a look, when we refresh, we've only got one error now, and the only one error is this one, the warning, OG missing. If you go into settings, and then where you can add favicon and you can have your sharing image, that is your sharing image there. So we've now got clear signals, H1, H2, H3, H4. If you've got more text on the website, obviously you can go into H5s or H6. Won't worry too much about adding extra H3s if you want to, but keep this one most descriptive one that search engine or screen readers are going to read. Okay, and then the last thing I do, we go in and we're going to add this. We can bypass the SEO Whiz. A quick easy way of doing that is bypassing the SEO Whiz when you want to submit to search engines, and even if you have submitted to the search engines, you can do it again. We're going to continue. I'm adding this to Google Search Console now, and I'm not doing it via the SEO Whiz. I would never ever use that. And then we're going to add a tag. We copy that. We go to the dashboard in your site and we go to settings. We add custom code. And we're going to add custom code and we're going to put it there. That's done. All pages in the head. Apply. Then we're going to verify. That's verified. So now I can go to the property. See, he's got absolutely nothing on there. No performance. Nothing yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is fetch the page straight away. Let's have a look. Let's copy that in the URL inspection tool. So it'll quickly retrieve any data. So obviously not unknown to the URLs unknown to Google at the moment. So we're going to test that. I'm sorry it's a bit long. I'm not the most organised video maker, I'm afraid. Right, so now we can request it to be indexed. So that's submitted. Might take a couple of days, might be sooner than that. But go over every page and use the URL inspection tool. Next thing, obviously, this guy ain't even not submitted a sitemap, so we all know it's sitemap.xml. And it says couldn't fetch, but it will fetch. When I go for pages, sitemap.xml. Right, but when I refresh that, in about a couple of hours, the pages would have been fetched. So obviously it is known to the search engines. Okay, so basically then, to recap, use the tool, the SEO tool inspector. If you're doing SEO for someone else, you can check their website, and then if you're quoting for a website, you can show everyone their errors and what's going wrong with their website. So basically, structure a website for search. Don't just put willy-nilly text in that doesn't make any sense. Put descriptive sentences in. As I say, words matter in search engines. So I've got a lot to do on this website anyway, and I'm going to change it around, obviously. But I hope that helps a little bit. And any questions, just mail me. The next video is going to do how to promote and use social media. And as I do for you, I'm going to make YouTube videos that rank on page 1 immediately. So you must watch that one next. Okay then, thank you.